Hey, AMP the bass player here. I am here at Klos Guitars with Ian Klasowiak, who is the brainchild behind these incredible instruments. Now, your whole big thing here is travel guitars and carbon fiber, is that right?
Yeah, that is right.
Okay, we've got a whole lineup of instruments here. Tell me how this all started.
Yeah, so it started out basically like 8 years ago when I was a student and I was an engineering student and I had to build something out of plastic for an engineering class, and I decided to build a full carbon fiber guitar. Well, it was a composites class. I had to build something out of composites, and I decided to just go all out and build a carbon fiber guitar because it fell into the category of composite materials and polymers and stuff like that. So I always wanted a carbon fiber guitar, but they were really expensive, and so I decided, as a college student, you're poor and always scrambling for money, so I decided to make my own, and that's how it all started. When I took my guitar places, people would ask me what brand it was, and I told people I built it myself, and they thought it was really cool. And yeah, before you know it, things just snowballed, and
Start
here
getting
we are.
orders,
Yeah.
and then you get a shop, and then you've got a crew and a
Yeah.
whole production line. What advantages do you end up with carbon fiber over wood?
Yeah, so carbon fiber is just way more durable. It's more reliable. It won't break or crack as easily as wood. It won't, warp with humidity or temperature changes. And so it's like I always used my wooden guitar back in the day as a piece of gear. I took it everywhere with me and it got dented and it got cracked and I had to fix it all the time. And the carbon fiber guitar, it's reliable. You don't have to keep it in a case all the time. Always keep it out. It's light. So yeah, the travel guitar was like the first model, and then we expanded to bass guitars, electric guitars, and ukuleles, and full-size acoustic guitars. We've got our electric guitar here and our bass guitar. So the electric and bass are kind of similar design. Fully loaded pick guards, so when you order from us, you can get a customized pick guard very easily. And so whatever pickups you want, whatever knobs, whatever switches, you can get that custom made very easily on just the pick guard. And then yeah, the body is wood. We use ash and akume, very similar to mahogany, and the neck is carbon fiber. The fretboard is also a composite material, and so very reliable, very durable. With the electric guitar, we've got two model necks. So one is 25 and a half, and the other is 24 and 3/4 scale length. So two different scale lengths. The shorter one has 22 frets, the longer one is 24 frets. So when you basically build your guitar on our website, you basically can pick all the parts you want, all the customizations. You could basically build custom instrument. Here in our shop, we've got all the parts pre-made and ready. So like we spend our time in our shop, getting all the necks leveled, doing all the nut filing, doing all the frets, and then we do the same thing with the body, prep all of that. We do that with the pick guards. So we basically have all the parts ready, and then when a customer orders a guitar or a bass, we basically take those parts and put them together within 2 days, and then we ship.
One thing I was gonna say about the headstock, you really leaned into the travel thing. Like, these are very, very short headstocks. Do you find any challenges making the headstock so small with so much, hardware bolted on in there? Or?
Yeah, so it was intentional. The headstock has a huge impact on a lot of factors and in how the guitar plays. The angle is really important. Having the strings be almost straight. If you look at this bass headstock, the strings are almost straight, so it puts less unnecessary pressure on the nut filing, like the string slots in the nut. And so having it compact also reduces weight, and not just reduces weight, but having it close, like lower down, makes the lever arm smaller, so you've got less neck dive.
Oh yeah.
And so You know, if you had 6 in a row, for example, like all the weight would be out here, so it's further from the pivot point, and so you've got more neck dive having the same machine heads, everything. So that design is just so key to having a really good feeling and really good balance when you're playing. Like most of you guys have probably played headless basses. You know, they're like the other extreme. We didn't want to go to that extreme and have headless basses and guitars, but this is a very good best of both worlds kind of thing. So the neck is the same thickness all the way back, so even at the heel, the neck, you know, on wood guitars you have to have the heel to be bigger because you need the bolt-on screws to screw into the wood. With carbon, you don't need the heel to be bigger, so it's the same thickness, which is really nice when you're playing up higher. Your thumb just feels kind of consistent.
Don't run into that block at the end of the neck.
Yeah, exactly. And
you mentioned that you do both passive and active electronics and all these, so you have tons and tons of options for customization. Are there any things that you've just like completely said, nah, this doesn't really work with our setup, or is the sky kind of the limit for how far that goes?
We definitely have limits on what we want to do customized because we want to still stay practical in our approach. Like we're not full custom shop because that, like, the lead time is then huge, and then we spend a ton of time on each guitar, and then the cost is just going to go way up. So keeping like that perfect balance, we have a bunch of customizations that are available, and you can check all those out on the website. But the coolest thing about the design is we intentionally design the manufacturing to be in line with the final like product. So we design the manufacturing to be easy to make customizations so that we don't have to treat every guitar as custom, even though we offer a lot of customizations. So
right on. It's like when they were building the Model Ts back in the day, and you had like the assembly line kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got that, you know, efficiency part of it, but with all of the customizations and differences that you can do to suit different customers' needs. That's actually really neat.
Yeah. We started out with our travel guitars and full-size guitars and ukuleles having just set models, and so many of our customers wanted customizations, and so we slowly started adding more and more customizations. And then when we were, you know, once the company was more established, further along, and we started thinking about the electric guitar design, we included the customizations in the design. The other things we really focused on was making it as light as possible. So like our knobs, you know, having 4 steel knobs is gonna be heavy, so it adds weight. So we make ours out of aluminum. The bridge is an aluminum block with brass saddles. So right away, like, you're saving a lot of weight, but the brass saddles will give you that, you know, that consistency, that sustain that you want from a bridge. So one of the other really cool features of our guitars, actually all of our guitars, is that we designed a whole line of gig bags for these guitars. And so we make them out of kind of high-end backpacking kind of material. And so because your guitar is way more durable, you don't need to be putting it in a very durable case because the guitar itself is durable. And so for that reason, we have, you know, a gig bag that is made for the guitar. The gig bag is very light. It doesn't need a ton of padding because the guitar itself is durable. And so yeah, that's kind of the design behind this gig bag. Very light. One of the coolest features is, I mean, it has a lot of pockets and all that thing, and it's cool, but the coolest feature about this is that if you want to take the neck off, and this goes for bass, electric, travel guitar, full-size guitar, you can take the neck off, and then the neck goes into this, what we call a neck sleeve, and the neck sleeve then gets attached to the side of the bag right here, just like that with these
yeah.
straps. And then this part of the bag right here then collapses like this. Close the zipper up like that. And then you put this strap in right there. And then you've got this, and then you attach with the clips, you attach this right here, and then you've got this basically small bag where it's carry-on size, you know, very easy to travel with, and it's extremely convenient when you need to do that.
That's real clever.
You know, it's not with a grand piano. You know, you don't travel with a grand piano or really any kind of piano.
Right.
But with the guitar, you always end up going places with it, you know?
Yeah.
And so having a good guitar is really important, but having a good bag for it is also really important because it changes your whole experience.
How consistently does your guitar come back to however you had it set up?
Oh, yeah.
Because like taking the neck off is a pretty dramatic change to how everything is.
Yeah.
So like putting it back together, like how long do you go from like setting your bag down to being able to plug it in and play it?
Yeah, it's under 5 minutes. So I mean, for me, it's like 3 minutes, but we include a capo with every instrument. So you put a capo on the first fret, you loosen the strings, and then once the strings are loose, you unbolt it. Then you have it apart, and then usually you just keep the strings still attached to the body.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually a special little spot for the strings to go through without having any issues.
So you don't even take it off of the tuning machines at all?
You don't take the strings off. You don't take it off the tuning machines. You put a capo on. That kind of keeps the layout the same. With the bass guitar, you can take them off because they just come out right in the back.
Okay.
They're top loaded. It's actually really quick and convenient, and because there's so much precision in the neck pocket, everything goes back in the right spot, and so you have to tune it back up. But you know, it's not like a crazy quick release device, and most of our customers don't use the detachable neck part very often, but occasionally they do. And for those moments, it's extremely convenient.
But like being able to put it into a package that's that small, where it's roughly just the shape of the body, it'll go anywhere.
Yeah, and just put it in the overhead, and then you don't have to look out the window to check if they're tossing your guitar. And so, I've done it so many times, and it's just so convenient to be able to just put it in the overhead, and especially with bass, like what I've done actually is I put the bass body inside my suitcase, and then I just put the neck in my backpack.
Oh yeah.
As my carry-on, and that's actually really convenient.
Well, shall we go explore the how the sausage is made?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's show the little Klos factory. So over here we have our soundboard to body station. So we have our carbon parts that look like this, and so.
It's like an oil pan.
Yeah, sounds like one too when you tap it. But once the soundboard is on, the sound completely changes. So we basically glue the soundboard to the body at this station. And one of the coolest parts of this process is this neck block. So actually with our travel guitars, full-size guitars, we've got an injection molded neck block, and a neck block is actually really important because it's the part that connects all the parts together. So the neck, the body, and the soundboard are all connected with the neck block. So actually no other company does this. We have ours injection molded, and as most people know, cylinders are extremely stiff and durable. So like, you know, you can stand on an empty Coke can. The Coke can is extremely light, but it'll hold all your weight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so these 4 cylinders are basically where the 4 bolts go for the bolt-on neck. And so that allows us to have something that's really lightweight, but then also really stiff. And so this surface right here bonds to the soundboard. The bottom of the cylinders bond, and this part bond to the body. And then the neck obviously goes into this part. We're very happy with this design, and it's very lightweight, very stiff, and it gets makes the bolt-on neck part of an acoustic guitar very functional, because bolt-on necks on acoustic guitars, that's a huge challenge because the bolts have to be a lot longer and all that sort of thing. With electric guitars, having a bolt-on neck is a lot easier to design. Acoustic guitars, using this cool method is it's basically the only solution we thought was good. Like I said, one of the main goals of our factory is to build things efficiently. And so if you only wanted to install one neck, it would take multiple hours to do it, because you've got to take measurements, you got to double check and do all these steps. But with these fixtures, everything is already pre-measured, pre-aligned, and so it's very quick to do a lot of these procedures because of the fixtures. One of the cool parts of our neck is that the truss rod cavity is pre-molded into the carbon, and so one, it makes the neck a lot lighter, and two, it just has like the perfect stiffness that you want, so that the truss rod is still very functional and works like a dream. So
Is it a completely different like set of math doing a truss rod in a piece of wood that's the same relative size to carbon fiber?
The truss rod is exactly the same, and so and we order our truss rods from just a supplier that makes truss rods for mostly wood guitars, if not only for wood guitars. But the difference is that with a wooden neck, you have to cut out the truss rod, and with a carbon fiber neck, this neck is actually basically hollow. It's filled with foam, and so if you just make a neck out of carbon and then cut out the cavity for the truss rod, then you're going to have all this foam exposed. You're ruining the strength of the neck, and then also you're ruining the integrity of the truss rod functionality, because then the truss rod would be pushing against foam. So one of the biggest challenges was designing the neck so that it can have a truss rod, but so that it's manufactured efficiently, light, and also has the pure functionality of the truss rod that you want. So that was a pretty big design challenge we had, but designing it this way, where it's pre-molded into the neck, is really cool. You can see that it's all one piece, so once it pops out of the mold, this is one of an older defects that we had, so we just have it for show right now, but kind of shows what it looks like without the fretboard. No truss rod cover is pretty cool, because then when you have to use the truss rod, you don't have to unscrew.
Yeah. Fewer tools.
Yeah, exactly. So finished necks that are pre-finished. We've got all the different models of pick guards that we wire ourselves right here, and so we've got our bodies that are also pre-finished, and so once an electric guitar bass order comes in, we've got the parts ready, and then the final assembly process is a lot faster, and so we get out the doors within a couple days. This is Brian. He does our final inspections. So yeah.
Every single guitar?
Yep.
I'm the only inspector here, which I take pride in. I try to make them all as consistent as possible, to where every single one of our guitars plays about the same every time. It's not just kind of a luck of the draw. I try to make them all as easy to play on your hands as I can every single time.
Right on.
This is where it gets to the cool part. This part clips on.
Yeah.
Just because there's some other things we do that are safer for shipping.
Yeah.
Like bubble wrap and stuff, so.
Done. Hey, thank you so much for watching my tour of Klos guitars. If you're curious what they sound like, I've got a review, and you can watch it right here. I even took it to the top of a mountain.